Hello my friends, welcome back to our channel. Home is where our heart is. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world today. My name is Dane.
My name's Maddox.
And today is a super special day because it's May in the UK and that means spring is in full bloom. But don't despair if you're not in the UK or down in the southern region and spring isn't in full bloom yet for you, then don't worry because all the plants that are bursting through the earth here for us will soon appear for you a bit later. Or if you're in a hotter part of the world, it might be popping up a bit more early. But all the plants and trees that we feature in this video can be found growing abundantly across Europe, and most grow throughout the world. So if you're interested, then come for a walk through the country roads with us and we'll fill up this lovely tray with wild edible and medicinal plants and trees, and we'll learn how to identify them along the way. So what have we found here, Maddox?
Wild apple mint.
Wild apple mint. Can you smell it? Go like this. So, wild mint, apple mint, also known as pineapple mint, can grow up to around 100 centimeters tall. Wow. Smell it.
I know he would like that.
Yeah.
Bjorn.
Bjorn. Yeah.
He loves mint.
Bjorn loves mint. Now, mint, of course, we know it's mint. You know why?
Because it smells minty.
Because it smells minty and it's got a square stem.
It's been playing Minecraft again.
It's been playing Minecraft again. Ah, it smells incredible. Now, apple mint has rounded leaves and they're wrinkly and super, super soft. Feel these leaves. Soft, almost like carpet. And then when you really crush it, smell that in your fingers. Oh, it smells
like minty pineapple.
Minty pineapple. This is one of the best mints to find, in my opinion. Now, do you know what you can make with mint?
Mint ice cream.
You can make mint ice cream. You could add it to ice cream and make it minty. Cookies. What I really like to make is obviously a mint herbal tea, which is very medicinal. And I love to put mint sauce on my roast dinners. Oh. Now, mint's an incredible wild edible and medicinal herb that's been used for food and medicine for thousands of years. And it's proven to help indigestion. You know, when you eat food and you feel a bit rough, mint can soothe that. It's also proven to improve our memory.
Memory?
Yeah, and it has many, many other medicinal properties. So what have we got here, Maddox?
Crab apple blossoms.
Crab apple blossoms. And did you know, of course, apples are edible, but so are their blossoms too?
Yeah.
They smell incredible.
To identify them in their petals.
Yeah, to identify the blossoms, they've got 5 petals and they're a nice shade of pink/white. Try some.
People commit suicide in the wars using these.
Kind of. Apples, the seeds of apples contain cyanide, which people used to use in the war to commit suicide, but also the leaves and the flowers of apple trees contain cyanide, but only very, very small amounts, so it's fine to eat, but just don't eat a whole ton. Other than that, it's... So here we've found some garlic mustard, otherwise known as Jack by the hedge. Now this is a delicious wild edible and can be used in all the same ways you would use wild garlic or 3-cornered leek or anything like that. You can blend it into pestos or add it to salads, and it has a delicious garlicky, mustardy flavour. It's a really nice wild edible. When it comes to delicious flavours, this is a good one. Now, Jack by the hedge can be eaten when its leaves are young to the ground. I have a picture of this very, very Jack by the hedge just a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and you can see it's just a young bundle of leaves, and then it quickly grows up into these long stems covered in these delicious leaves, and it gets these beautiful white flowers on the top, which each have 4 petals. Now, the whole plant is edible. The leaves and the stem are especially nice, and you can break them off just like you would young fireweed shoots or asparagus, and steam them and add them to salads, anything you fancy. To identify Jack by the hedge garlic mustard is super simple because its leaves are heart-shaped with very serrated edges. You see these serrated curves around the edge, and the veins leave an impression around them as you look up the leaves. The stem is smooth, and the flowers, of course, have 4 petals. So what we found here, Maddox?
Wild ground ivy.
Ground ivy. Now, ground ivy is a great wild edible. When you crush it in your hands, just pick some, Maddox, and crush it in your fingers and smell it. It has a powerful, powerful flavour. Well, powerful smell and a powerful flavour. And that's, of course, the essential oils flowing through the veins of the ground ivy. Now, ground ivy is best chopped up like yarrow and sprinkled over food like tomatoes, and it adds a really nice herby flavour. Or used brewed as herbal tea. You can dry it and brew it into herbal tea. And historically, do you know what this tea was called? Ground ivy tea?
Ground ivy tea.
It was called Jill tea, and it used to be the most popular medicine amongst the poorest people of society. And it was used to treat a long list of ailments. And science today has proved that Jill tea is super rich in antioxidants. And antioxidants have been proven to have many, many health benefits. Now, to identify ground ivy is super easy. You see its stem, Maddox?
Yeah.
When you roll it in your hands, it's square. You see it's got a square stem?
It's been playing too much Minecraft.
It's been playing too much Minecraft. So when you look at its flowers, they're like little funnel-shaped flowers, and then bees with a very long nose come along to get the nectar from within. And then when you look at the leaves are what you call kidney-shaped leaves. They're the shape of your kidneys. You know, your organ.
Oh no.
That's why they're called kidney-shaped leaves. So what have we found here, Maddox?
Ribwort plantain.
Ribwort plantain. Do you know how we know it's ribwort plantain?
Because it is soft.
Because its leaves are long.
It's soft.
Like long spear tips, and they have these ridges going down them. You see them lines?
Yeah.
They're the ridges. These are edible, but they're not that great. And you can eat the whole flower. You see this? This is the plantain flower. That they taste like mushrooms. You want to try some? It tastes so much like mushrooms, like a raw mushroom. Give me a flavour rating, 1 to 10.
10.
10? Wow, that's a high rating. So Ribwort plantain is a nice wild edible, and people tend to dry it and crumble it up because of its mushroomy flavour and add it to soups. And medicinally, the leaves, if you make them into a salve, they're super soothing and numbing and really good for like stings and insect bites. You put it on and it really soothes irritated, painful skin. We've got some cherry blossoms. Now, cherry blossoms are edible. A very mild flavour. And they make fantastic jams. Now, the cherry trees are super easy to identify. Their blossoms are a pink/white colour. Their leaves are oval shaped with a really long, defined, sharp tip and very serrated edges. And it's the bark of the cherry tree that really helps me identify the cherry tree. It's a greyish brown in colour, and it has little horizontal markings all over the bark. Now, cherry blossoms are incredible and celebrated every year in Japan, and I can see why they love to bask in their beauty every single year. So you know what this is, Maddox?
Three-cornered leek.
Three-cornered leek. And it's still fresh, even at this time of year. It probably won't be here for much longer, but it's going to be here for a couple of weeks more at least.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's called three-cornered leek?
It has 3 corners.
It has 3 corners. The stem is a triangle shape. And do you know what it's related to?
I do not know.
Garlic. It tastes amazingly of garlic. Try some. Wow, what a powerful... His face. Do you like garlic?
Yeah.
He does like garlic. You like garlic bread?
Yeah. Eat it all the time.
Yeah, this is an incredible wild edible, and we love to dry it and mix it with salt, and it creates a nice herbal salt. You can also bake it into things like breads to add a delicious flavour. It's super easy to identify because its flowers are bright white. It has 6 white petals, and they have a very unique green line down the middle. So what have we found here, Maddox?
Wild garlic.
Some wild garlic, and it's still good. Some of the leaves have got a bit of a yellow tinge to it, but some of them are still fresh and green. And do you know how we know it's wild garlic, Maddox?
Because there's the white on the bottom.
Yep, it's got a white spine up the bottom.
The wild garlic and the three-cornered leek are in the garlic family.
Yep, it's related to the three-cornered leek. And they just look like simple leaves growing up out the floor like this. And when it flowers, its flowers come up on a long stem like that in little clusters. And each of the white flowers has 6 little white petals. And do you know how we definitely know we've got wild garlic?
Goes the stem.
Crush it in your hand, crush the end in your hand and smell it. What does it smell like?
Garlic.
Garlic. So here we've bumped into Robert. Herb Robert is its name. Now this wild edible is incredible because of its unique smell. You can smell it in the air as you walk down the country road, and it smells like burnt rubber. You'd be surprised at just how much when you crush this plant's leaves. Wow, it smells like burnt rubber. Our little boy Bjorn loves cars, and he loves this flower because it smells like cars' wheels. Now to identify herb robber is super easy because its flowers are bright pink with 5 petals. Its leaves are deeply lobed, and of course when you crush them they smell like burnt rubber, and its stems are fuzzy and they're kind of a green/red in colour. And as the summer comes along and the sun shines on this plant, it turns more red as that time goes by, as it spends time in the sunshine. Now what I find fascinating about herb robber is its name. How does a plant end up being called herb Robert? And that's believed to originate from one of 2 sources. It's either because an 11th century monk called Robert used to love using herb Robert in his herbal remedies and used them a lot, or it originates from a folklore goblin called Robin Goodfellow. And this little goblin, they used to believe that this little goblin would come to your house and do your housework at night, do your chores for you. And if you didn't pay him with bread and milk, if you didn't leave bread and milk out overnight for him to do your chores, then he would play pranks on you.
We have found daisies.
We have found the daisies, common daisies, and not many people know it. But did you know, Maddox, that daisies are edible?
I didn't know that.
And many books describe them as bitter. But
They're sweet.
yeah, I think they taste more lemony. They're quite nice. And the leaves, when you dig down to the leaves, look like little teaspoons. And these are also edible. And they make really good additions to salads. You can add them to salads. To identify the daisy, of course, is super simple. It's got a heart of gold and many white petals. So if you want to learn about daisies in a much more in-depth way, then make sure to check out our video where it explores the whole world of the daisies. It's awesome. Now, did you know that daisies today are treated as a weed? People pick them up and throw them away, but they're actually a medicinal herb that's been used as medicine for what?
Thousands of years.
Thousands of years. And daisies used to be used like a native arnica and made into balms and salves to soothe achy backs, as well as help heal inflammation and bruising. And you can still make that yourself today at home, super easy. And you can find the recipe tutorials for daisy bump balm and daisy bump salve on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
These are young beech leaves.
Beach.
Want to try one?
Yeah.
You can eat the young beech leaves. Salady. Refreshing. Now, beech leaves are great, and you can squish them on your skin as a poultice to help heal up the skin. But they're most commonly used as a herb tea or a little snack when you're out on a hike like this. Now, the beech leaf is easy to identify. When it's super young, you see it's almost translucent, see-through,
Yeah.
and it's got really fluffy edges like that. You see them little ridges, them lines that come off from the centre spine?
Yeah.
That lets us know we've got a beech leaf. And of course the bark of the beech is super distinctive. It's grey, almost silver. Now the beech tree is an incredible tree, so if you want to learn more about this beech tree, don't forget to check out our awesome beech tree video where we explore beech nuts and its mythology. It's honestly awesome.
Cleavers.
Cleavers, aka sticky willy, also known as goosegrass.
Goose.
Goosegrass.
Goose.
Now, cleavers is an awesome wild edible. You can eat it fresh if you like. And sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's not so nice. Kind of depends on luck. But what cleavers is best for? Do you know what cleavers is best for, Maddox?
Throw in.
Throwing at people, sticking to people's backs. And it's also known as a pot herb because you can bulk up soups and stews with it. And when you cook it, it softens up and absorbs all the flavour. And it's very nice. Now, to identify cleavers is super simple. It's got a square stem, and most of the time it has red corners running up the stem. And you see this red, Maddox?
Yeah.
Down in the root of the cleavers, this is where that red gathers, and you can dig up the root and use it as a red dye. And that red dye is so strong that when birds eat the cleavers roots, it dyes their bones red. How crazy is that?
That's
So
crazy.
if you find a bone that's red, that means it's been eaten a lot of cleavers. Now, cleavers each year, I like to put it in soups to bulk up soups because it makes them soft and nice. But we also make it into a pesto, where you blend it up with garlic and you can spread it on toast or dip crackers in it. And Brucey loves it, baby Brucey.
He does.
Yeah. Oh, he eats it all up.
With one handful.
Now, do you know what else is amazing about cleavers?
What?
It's related to coffee.
Coffee.
Do you like a cup of coffee?
Not yet. I'm the juice man.
That means that this is mildly caffeinated. So when you eat it, there's a very low amount of caffeine. But later on in the year, when the seed balls come, you know them sticky balls that stick over your dog or your cat or your clothes or even in your beard? Them sticky balls, you can roast them and make what's known as a poor man's coffee. You roast that and it makes an actually free caffeinated coffee. And we made a video all about it, so if you want to learn how to make poor man's coffee,
Just go to the video.
go to the videos, make sure to check them out. And look at this super lucky find. We've just stumbled across lemon balm,
Lemon balm.
totally hidden away amongst these stinging nettles. Ready? You ready for this, Maddox? Oh, smell this.
Smells like lemon.
Oh, lemon balm. Lemon balm.
I see why they call it lemon balm.
But take a leaf. Try that. The whole
Wait,
plant.
eat it.
Yeah. Oh, this is the best wild edible we've come across today, I reckon. Oh my God. Smell that. If only you could smell it. Oh, it smells so amazing. Now the whole plant is edible of lemon balm. And you can use it in salads, and you can use it in cordials. You can make whatever you want with it, and it transfers this beautiful floral fragrance of the lemon balm into it.
I taste lemon.
Ah.
This must be where they get the smell of lemon.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what smelled like lemon first, the lemon or the lemon balm.
Lemon.
Now lemon balm is used as lots of different types of food and all different types of recipes, and most famously it's used as a medicinal tea because it helps calm and soothe you. It's a really good relaxing herbal tea. To identify lemon balm is super simple. It looks a lot like mint, but it's a plant in its own right. When we take a look at its leaves are kind of oval, heart-shaped,
Like an oak.
with roundly serrated edges. And of course, as soon as you squish it, you can't mistake for anything else, because it smells of lemon balm.
It's better than any food to smell.
It's the best smell in the world. It's the best smell in the world, probably. And it's got a square stem. Here we found
A dandelion.
loads of dandelions. Dandelions grow abundantly across the earth, and they're incredible flowers. And guess what, Maddox?
What?
They're edible.
Yes.
The entire plant of the dandelion is edible. The flowers, the leaves, the roots make an incredible dandelion coffee.
So I can just eat all of this at once now.
You can, but it's best to eat just the petals if you want a fresh nibble, rather than the entire flower head. It has a very rich, unique dandelion flavour. Now, we love to make dandelion syrup every year. It's delicious.
Love it.
He loves it. He loves all the syrups. What's your favourite syrup, Maddox?
Dandelion.
Dandelion. It's especially delicious. The rich flavour of dandelions infuses with the sugar or honey. It tastes amazing. I definitely recommend testing that out. You can eat the leaves. Want to try some leaf?
Yeah.
To identify it, it's super easy. Of course, you've got
The dandelion with it.
super dandelion head, bright yellow flower, the stem, which when you break it in half,
It's got a hollow bit.
it's hollow, and there's a white sap that comes out. You know what you can use this white sap for, Maddox?
Soap.
Nope. You apply it to warts several times a day, and it's a natural treatment for warts. These are called forget-me-nots.
Forgetty nuts.
Forget-me-nots.
Oh, forget me nuts.
Now, the only part of forget-me-nots that's edible is these little flowers. Now, before we eat them, let's identify to make sure we've got the correct plant. The flowers have 5 little petals
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
with a bright little yellow circle in the middle.
Yeah. And it looks like a sun.
Its leaves are long and slightly fuzzy. Now, do you know how forget-me-nots get their name?
How?
Do you know how they got called forget-me-nots? It's a weird name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I got confused with it.
it's said that Zeus, the god of all the gods, you know, the ancient Greek god Zeus,
Yeah.
it's said that he thought he'd named all the flowers in the world, and he was just chilling out in the clouds thinking he'd named everything, when this little flower that hadn't been given a name called up to Zeus and said, "Forget me not." And Zeus, to make his life easier, said, "Oh, okay," and he called this flower Forget Me Not, and that's how it got its name, apparently.
It's blue like lightning.
Blue like lightning. And the most popular way forget-me-nots are eaten is crystallised, when you just dip them in sugar and let them dry in there, and they're put on cakes. So here we've got one of my favourite wild edibles, dead nettles. This is white dead nettle, and you'll often find white, purple or even yellow dead nettle. Now the white one's best to eat. It's super easy to identify because it looks like a stinging nettle. It has them serrated edges on its leaves, and the flowers look like little open mouths. Now what's amazing about these flowers is sometimes when you eat them, they have a bit of nectar inside. It's not a very sunny day today, so that one wasn't very sweet. Now the whole dead nettle is edible and it makes a really nice addition to soups. Now if you want to learn more about dead nettles, then I definitely recommend our Guide to Dead Nettles video, and we explore the whole world of dead nettles. We look at their nutritional, medicinal properties, how to identify them all super in-depthly, and we do a really awesome part on their morphology. And here we've found some of the beautiful, precious cowslips. Cowslips smell kind of like apricot, and these incredible wildflowers used to grow as abundantly as buttercups, but their numbers declined for a long time. But now they've steadily increased back, and this whole field now is covered in cowslips. So if you find an abundant patch, then treat yourself to just a couple for a special cowslip herbal tea. Now to identify cowslips, their leaves, just like primrose, are very soft. They're oval shaped with a white spine that runs down the centre. And when you turn it over, it's a lighter shade of green and fuzzy on the back. Its stem is long and fuzzy, and then it has multiple flowers at the top that dangle over like bells, and all the flowers dangle in the same direction. And when you look in these golden yellow flowers, you'll see little orange impressions on the inside. Now these are cowslips, and all throughout history and mythology they symbolise keys. Of course we've found some stinging nettles because they grow in abundance, and of course they're edible. Stinger nettles are one of the most nutritious plants in the world, and they actually have more than 4 times the calcium than broccoli or spinach. Now all above ground parts of the stinging nettle are edible, and it makes a great replacement for spinach, and you can cook it and it goes all soft. And don't worry, its sting goes away when you cook it. We love to use stinger nettles, and you put them in our baking. We bake stinger nettle bread, we make stinger nettle soup. There's so many things you can do with stinger nettles. If you put some oil on them, put them in the oven, you can make them into stinger nettle crisps, which is exactly the same as crispy kale. Now to identify stinger nettles is super easy. They have their spear-shaped leaves with super serrated edges, and they're covered in them fine hypodermic little hairs, and these are what drop off and inject you and sting you. Now you can eat this plant fresh, of course, but it does pack a sting, and if you squish it, the sting does go away and you can eat it. Delicious. Now these have been used for food and medicine, of course, for thousands of years, and many people still use them today for the treatment of arthritis, as well as seasonal allergies. And the Romans, when they was cold at night, when they was invading the colder countries of the world, would strip down naked and rub their entire bodies in stinging nettles because it warmed them up at night. So look what we found here. Wild strawberries. How cool is that? Man, this whole field is about 1 acre in size, and at first walking through it, you'd assume that these were daisies, but then when you get down on the ground and look closely, you see what they really are. The most delicious berry on planet Earth, wild strawberries. Now, we know they're wild strawberries because of their little beautiful strawberry flowers that have 5 white petals with a little golden centre, just like the daisy, and their leaves. You see their little leaves? They grow in threes, and they have serrated edges. Now, of course, wild strawberries, later on in the year, these flowers will turn into little round strawberries, which are delicious and sweet. But we can also use the leaves and the flowers to make a delicious herbal wild strawberry tea. Wow, the clouds are parting for just a brief moment to give us some sunshine down on the strawberries. That's how much strawberries are loved. Even the heavens have parted for this scene. Now, when we collect wild strawberries, bear in mind, each flower you take would be a strawberry in the future. But because this field's absolutely covered, I'm going to collect some for some herbal teas. And in traditional herbalism, strawberries for a very, very long time, their herbal tea's been used for healing sore mouths. If you have sore mouths, they used to drink, well, they used to drink wild strawberry tea. Now, what I find fascinating about strawberries in general is their history and mythology and how that all comes forward to today. Because all throughout history we've loved strawberries. They're one of the most popular berries on earth for a reason. And you'll find old churches, they'll have strawberries carved into the outside of them. Ancient artwork, people were painted some incredible huge artwork. So when you look closely and examine these artworks, you'll see things like people dancing naked around the wild strawberries. And what's really cool is where their name originates from. Strawberry. Well, how did they get that name? Strawberry. And they believe they're called strawberries because children once upon a time would come out and collect these little wild strawberries and they'd string them along a piece of straw so they could hold them all together. Then they'd head into the markets and they'd sell these strawberries. So what have we found here, Mr. Maddox?
The lilacs.
The beautiful lilacs. They have a beautiful floral fragrance that's just absolutely stunning. And did you know that the flowers are edible? And we love to make a cordial and syrup of the lilacs every single year. You should check out our recipes all about that. Now, to identify the lilacs is super simple. The flowers grow in a cone shape and they're quite chunky and have 4 petals, and they'll be in pink, purple or white. And I think that might be it. And we could get plenty more, but it's getting dark, so we have to call it a day. And we have to get this young man home into the warm, a nice hot chocolate, and I've promised him a nice dinner. Anyways, people, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, share it on your social medias to help our nature-inspired education travel the world. As always, it's been a pleasure. Look after yourselves out there, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.